was the immediate gift from GHSS Chademangalam. Today, we all are here to listen to the 15th session of Language Acquisition Program conducted by English Graduates Association with the title Golden Lab. Yes, with all your blessings and support, we reached the 50th session of Lab, which we are celebrating as Golden Lab. Really, a heartfelt thanks to all the personalities working behind the curtain for making our lab a grand success. And I'm so happy to be here as a part of this session. Before starting an event, we need the blessings of Almighty. For that, I would like to invite Dia PK from GVHSS Payoli to recite the prayer.
Arinanda, I think she hasn't joined yet. So,
Please pass on to the next event.
Okay. I'm inviting Fatima Ghafoor from SNHSS Tiruvallur for the welcome speech.
A delightful morning to one and all present here. This is the 50th session of Lab series conducted by EGA, which is entitled as Golden Lab. I'm so glad to hear that we are completing 50th episode of Lab today. And I would like to thank EGA for helping us complete 50 episodes of Lab. As it's a Golden Lab, we have two special guests present here today. First and foremost, I would like to welcome Director of SCRT, Dr. Jayaprakash RK, who was the Associate Professor and the Head of Department School of Pedagogical Science at Kannur University. With great honor and pleasure, I welcome you, sir. It's my pleasure to welcome. Uh, it's my pleasure to welcome today's Dr. Arya Gopi ma'am, who's the Associate Professor at Zamorin Guruvayurappan College, Kozhikode. With great pleasure and respect, I welcome you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome Vadekandi Narayanan sir, who is the coordinator of this program. Now, I welcome the anchor of this session, Aryananda from GMGHSS Tadiamangalam, Dia PKGBHSS Payoli, who sang an amazing prayer for us. Next, I will welcome Ameya S. Hari from Udinur Central UPS, who's gonna deliver the participating in this program. Once again, I welcome all of you to this session. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatima. Behind every successful program, there will be an eminent personality. Yes, for this program, we have Vadekandi Narayanan sir, who has been conducting such an informative and valuable program without wanting any reward or without any selfish motive. Sir, I invite you to deliver the presidential address with the utmost respect and reverence. We are very eagerly waiting for your words on our golden lab.
Thank you, Arinanda. Good morning, everybody, respected ones and dears. Today is a proud day for us. Today we have reached the 50th episode of a language acquisition program conducted by English Graduates Association. All the last 49 Sundays we have been together celebrating this lab in different episodes, dealing with poetry, prose, short story, other aspects of many aspects of grammar, and so on. And many ministers, MLAs, and the state level and the district level educational officers have come to bless us with the inaugural session. And today we have reached the 50th session. Today we have got a very eminent person for inaugurating this function, none but the director of SCRT. The SCRT is the highest office of our educational system in Kerala. The books are, our textbooks are being designed by them, and for every action behind our academic programs, SCRT is there, and the director of that institution has come to bless us. That's a great event for us. Next thing is we have got an eminent personality as RP, a great poet and assistant professor at Zamarin Guruvayurappan College. Arya Gopi ma'am. First of all, let me congratulate the performers, Aryananda, who is the anchor, Fatima Gapur, who has rendered the welcome speech, and Dia, of course, she will come and join us for the prayer, I think. And the last person who is going to deliver the word of thanks, Amaya. Nothing more I have to say. Very glad to be here with you all to celebrate this 50th session of our lab. All the best for the program. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Dia is here. Shall we give her a chance?
Sure, Aryananda, you can call upon her, please.
Okay. Before starting an event, we need the blessings of Almighty. For that, I would like to invite Dia PK from GVHSS Payoli to recite the prayer. Dia?
Good morning.
Yes, Dia, come on. I think she has got some connectivity issue. So shall we move on to the inaugural session? Arya, please.
Okay. And I'm sure that this 50th
Wait for a moment.
Dia,
Okay, Dia has rendered it, but some problem is there.
yes.
Okay, let us move on to the next.
Thank you, Dia. And I'm sure that this 50th session of Lab will be a memorable one for all who gathered here. Because today we have got a charismatic personality to inaugurate our session, and that is Dr. Jayaprakash Sir, the Director of the State Council for Educational Research and Training, and the former Associate Professor and Head of the Department, School of Pedagogical Science at Kannur University. With a great honor and respect, I am inviting Dr. Jayaprakash sir for the inaugural address. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Aryananda. And the president of this inaugural session, Narayana sir, and all other participants in this online program of language acquisition program conducted by English Graduate Association and English language lovers fraternity throughout the state. I'm very happy to see that the participant in this group, there are so many students from different parts of our state, and also they are the real organizers of this program. They are anchoring and they are delivered the welcome speech, and also in all the activities of this program, they are actively participating. This is amazing, and it is a welcome move from a voluntary organization like this. And I'm not going for a theoretical presentation or a speech in this special occasion. And our resource person, Dr. Arya Gopi from Shamudin Guruvayurappan College, she's also participating. And all the participants, they are actually waiting for the class of Arya Gopi. And so far as the Kerala's education scenario, we are all, the students and teachers, always we are all have an apprehension in the teaching learning process of English. And how to teach this and how to learn a language like this in a monolingual classroom. This is actually our problem. In the state, as all of you know, that rooms are monolingual in nature. Our mother tongue is Malayalam, and some accent issues and usages, some differences in the usages for languages, something is different in different areas, like northern and southern part of our state. And also the usage in a particular group, especially in the tribal areas, in the coastal areas, in the hilly areas, and the middle land of Kerala. You can see some differences in the usage. But we are all using Malayalam as our mother tongue. And this teaching, learning process of English language, that is somewhat have an influence from our mother tongue. So in our school days, we remember those days as how our teachers taught us this foreign language, and I'm not going for a comment on that in this occasion. But at the same time, in this globalized world, the whole world is considered as a village and not in the form of different countries. So in the future, you can't predict it, where we are going to do some work. You can predict the nature of job, the place of job, and what kind of skills you have to acquire to face the future challenges. For that purpose, we, our students, have to learn this bridge language or link language as a foreign language. It is an essential task so far as our Kerala students are concerned, because our state is running or living with the help of foreigners, Gulf migrants, and our people. The skilled laborers are working in different parts. Our need the foreign languages, especially we consider the English as the world language, connecting to one another. So we need to learn the real accent for a fluent communication in English. Otherwise, we cannot survive. So I think this kind of voluntary starting on now we reach the 50th episode of this program, and going to, I think this will cross a century. In 100 episode, have to celebrate, not celebrate in terms of a mere celebration, but in terms of an academic celebration we need. So as part of this institution, as a director of CRT Kerala, I assure you that in this coming revamping of our school state curriculum, we need to address the problems of language learning. So this is an era of educational technology. We are blending all the technological aspect in the area of curriculum and also teaching learning process. So we have to take the help from this educational technology and so many softwares and so many gadgets. Through that gadgets, we can easily go through this and to easily learn the accent. In my knowledge, in Kerala, so many students are the viewers or the participants of Vedanta app, and that kind of application and companies have different kinds of subscribers in Kerala. So in our classrooms, we have to learn and teaching and learning process in this area of English language have to be revitalized and to be revamped, and we need a different approach in this. So in that process, in this curriculum, in this coming mega event like that, we can say this is a mega event in this academic community, and I seek the help from different stakeholders, the English Graduate Association and the teachers from the English teaching community, and also as the director of this CRT, I ensure that in all the coming academic programs, the training programs and the preparation of modules, and during the time of our workshop, student community, that will be ensured. And with the permission of all the participants in this group, I declare this event is inaugurated. Thank you very much.
We are so grateful for your valuable presence and precious words, sir. Thank you so much for coming and greeting us. Now it's time for today's session. Today we have Arya Gopi ma'am, who has won numerous awards and honors including Kerala Sahitya Akademi Kanakasri Award and Kerala Government Youth Icon Award, and currently working as the Assistant Professor of Samorans Guruvayurappan College, Kozhikode. With a great excitement and zealous, I invite Arya Gopi ma'am for handling today's session. Hearty welcome, ma'am.
Good morning, one and all. So happy to share this technical platform with the language acquisition program community. So I think this is your 50th session. So you have been listening to several resource persons on behalf of several topics, maybe technicalities of language, theories of language, as Narayanan sir said about poetry, prose, the kind of the language that we use in all those things. So I think today we will discuss, I'll share some of my thoughts regarding the philosophy of language. It's a kind of a broad topic where you can, it's an umbrella term where you can include anything and everything. Okay, because we exist in language, we dwell in it. Our cultural identifications are intertwined in that language space. So, philosophy of linguistic experience, actually, we experience that every now and then, but we never recognize it because we never think in such terms. Because I'm able to communicate to you in a language, in a particular language, and of course, that language is a foreign language, but that language is used for communication. We may think in some other language, we may dream in our mother tongue, but very easily we are able to acquire another language, a foreign language, a different language. It opens new worlds before us, new doors before us. So as students, you might be experiencing that when you read something, some books in different languages. So language is, as everyone said, as Jayaprakash sir said, as Narayanan sir said, language is basically for communication. We use it for communication. But since no man is an island, we need more and more languages. I can't live as an island because I am living in a society. I have people around me. I need to communicate things. I need to add color to my life. I need to express my emotions. I need to express my thoughts. So, for all those things, I need language. So, always a new language offers a new life, because I hope all of us are, because the students listening to me in this Google Meet platform, we are all Malayalis. So we have a language as our mother tongue, Mother Bhasha. But we are trying to acquire another language. It might be for several purposes. Sometimes for job purposes, or for study purpose, or for some intellectual purpose, or for just learning purpose. So a language always offers a kind of a new life. Obviously, everyone knows that a language is not a genetic gift. If you are born somewhere else, then some other language will be your mother tongue. Language is part of your social scenario. Language is a social gift. So when I speak in English, it is my accent. I use my accent, my local European English. So you know how different all these different accents are, and everything is, we cannot compare um, these different accents and say that, oh, this is uh, of this quality and this is of that quality. No such comparisons. There is actually no need of such comparison. So learning a new language is actually, we are becoming a member of a different club, the community of speakers of that language. So I think this program is enabling you to be part of another scenario. A language actually achieves a genuinely global status when it develops a special role that is recognized in every country. David Crystal said this, the very famous linguist David Crystal said this. So here in our country, English language, it has achieved a kind of a global status. It has got a special role. We learn our syllabus sometimes in English medium. We read English books very easily. Children, they are able to mingle in that language. So there is a question always. Linguist, or in certain meetings, they ask a question: whose English? Whose English? ആരുടെ English ഭാഷ? Whose English? So and translators from different institutions both in Europe and America, and eager to learn more about the future of one of the most spoken languages worldwide, that is English language. So he asked, how many people actually speak English? So is there something called actual English? Asked David Crystal. So the answer is the same, that we have no idea. Who speak actual English? I speak my English and you speak your English. So your resource persons, they speak their English. So in any case, what is undoubtedly true is that English is a global language. And I hope this is actually the 50th session. By this time, you might have come across the social or the political or the economic reasons behind that. It actually plays, English language plays a kind of a predominant role in areas such as technology. Obviously we use Google Meet, and everything is even the language of that technology is in English language. And trade, industry, politics, culture, arts, economy. So around 400 million people have it as their mother tongue, and another 1.5 million people worldwide speak and use English language for communication.
ഓക്കെ,
According to,
അതിനായിട്ടുണ്ടോ അകത്ത്?
am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Latif sir, please unmute your mic. Latif
I
sir.
thought someone was asking me something. Okay. Language for speaking, for communicating. These are all statistical data. So what happens to a language which becomes global? Just imagine if Malayalam becomes global, what will be the status of Malayalam or any other language instead of English? So David Crystal actually pointed out that once a country For example, India, once conquered by Britain. Once a country has been conquered and a foreign language imposed, that nation will look for its own identity. Then, out of our social scenario, cultural scenario, out of all the regional languages that we have, we urge for a kind of our own identity, for our language. In other words, a new language is very easily adopted and adapted. You can just observe how children learn language. Actually, I have a small boy. He's 7 years old. So when he was in his KG, kindergarten classes, I just insisted that he should learn good Malayalam because I used to write in Malayalam. My father is a Malayalam poet. So I thought that I have heard children very proudly saying, "Enikku Malayalam ariyilla." They won't even pronounce that word Malayalam properly. Malayalam. And they think that, oh, this is actually a kind of a stylized way of saying that word. So I just insisted that he should learn to read and write good Malayalam. Actually, that experiment was a utter failure because when we insisted something, he just diverted his concentration to some other language. So now he can very well, he can talk in English. He's very fluent in English. He used to very interestingly listen to English cartoons, not Malayalam cartoons. So teachers in his school used to ask, നിങ്ങൾ വീട്ടിൽ മലയാളം ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാണോ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്? ഞാനൊരു ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് അധ്യാപിക ആയതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കാം. ലിവിങ് ഇൻ കാലിക്കറ്റ്, ആക്ച്വലി വി വോണ്ട് സ്പീക്ക് ഇൻ English language in our home. So this happened because I insisted him to learn Malayalam language, so that out of that childish curiosity or urge, he just migrated, or he just diverted from that command which came from his mother, and he learned another. So it's very know how a child, when it actually happened before my eyes. The theories they were in the book, but something else happened in our language is adopted and adapted. So it's actually a long process. It will not happen overnight. So this is how localisms, language variations are born. Thus, despite of having the same roots, as I said, American English, European English, English spoken in South Africa, Australia, or India, or Japan, or any other country, it's different. So which is the correct one? Fascinatingly, all of them are correct. We can't say this is wrong, this is right. We cannot consider even the most seemingly obvious grammar mistakes, such as when it is being made nationwide. Such sometimes we should overlook even those things. So it's not a mistake anymore. It has entered into a kind of a daily usage as a reflection of one's national or local identity. So a means of cultural understanding. Language becomes a means of cultural understanding. So just as we humans do, language also grow. It adapts to new needs of our society. Okay, so changes can happen in language. So now when you reach your 100th session, obviously a change will happen in your acquisition process of this particular language. So languages change to reflect society. The only languages that don't change is the dead ones, David Crystal's quote. Okay, so all languages adapt and adopt to the situations, and they will enter a kind of a new life. So your language is directly related to your landscape. There is a direct relationship between your language and landscape. In that sense, you can say that your Malayalam, it is very directly related to Kerala, the origin of certain words, the kind of the relationship between object and its meaning. So it is actually directly related to your landscape. But when you try to acquire another language, you are actually creating a tunnel through that landscape. That is the landscape of your mother tongue. You are creating a tunnel through that landscape, and you are trying to acquire another language. So obviously, you know what happens when you travel through a tunnel. it's dark, you'll be searching for the light at the other side. There'll be artificial lights uh, connected throughout the tunnel, but again it's a different experience. So you try to acquire that different language and try to imbibe it your mindscape. So just remember that there is always a connection to your language and its landscape, its cultural implications, etc., because a language evolves from a culture. So what do you mean by culture? Culture comes from Latin word cultura, which means the kind of the activity which you do upon soil. What activity that you? What is the activity that you do in soil? It is agriculture. So agriculture, culture is directly related to agriculture. So it is a kind of a okay. So language actually comes first. It is not that language grows out of consciousness. If you haven't got language, you can't be conscious. That is it. Alan Moore says this. If you don't have a kind of a mm, proficiency in a language, then you can't be conscious. That is it. So language actually comes first, and human beings, they created all these languages, but it comes first because it is one of the primary modes of communication. So without language I can communicate to you, because I can show different gestures, I can show actions, I can show that I need water, I'm hungry, I want to go from this place. But there are limitations because when I'm communicating to a crowd, I need language. So learn jananam, but language acquisition program enables you to acquire another language. So you are actually acquiring another language. These two are different process. ജനനത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗമാകുന്നതും പഠനത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗമാകുന്നതും, two different processes. So if you concentrate, oh, I'm doing this, I'm learning another language like this, if you concentrate all these kinds of process activities, then it will become so confusing. But it happens in a kind of an organic way that you never realize that you are listening to a global language, you are listening to a foreign language, you are listening to a language that is very different from your mother tongue. You never recognize that, because you indulge in all these kinds of linguistic activities. So language is actually a place of affection and reflection. As I said that a language is part of its culture, language is also a place, a very perfect place of affection and reflection. Learning a new language is like crossing a river. I think Narayan sir can guide you. You should do like this, you should read this, you should swim, you should take out your hands like this. He can teach you, he can guide you, but you have to decide and you have to swim and you have to cross that river. Then only you can experience that joyful uh, what to say, that experience, and in that very joyful experience, there is also pain. You imbibe lot of painful moments when you learn a different language, that you will come across when you sit to translate from one language to another language. So we think that we know Malayalam language because for our day-to-day communication we use Malayalam language. That process of translating from one language to another, then you will come across the difficulty or our limitations regarding both of these languages. Okay, so last year I translated a Turkish novel. Actually, I translated the Turkish